Welcome to the raw and uncensored Ambitious Podcast. During our time here together, I will be instilling all of the strength, power, and determination you will need to use the very stones thrown at you to build your ultimate empire. We will redefine the word bitch from the derogatory to the acronym being in total control of herself. So let's adjust our crowns and prepare to live life ambitiously. Yeah, here I am, the original HBIC, Katie motherfucking Boyd. And for the second week in a row, we have in the studio, B3, Big Booty Bernard.
Oh no, it's a booty too? Oh.
You actually have no ass. You look like a Roman numeral one.
It's a nice ass, but it's not a big booty.
It's inverted.
Probably. I don't know.
Speaking of big booty, we're going to teach these girls how to get their booty. And it ain't their ass. It's their treasure trove.
Their treasure trove and their assets, baby.
Yes, because I have had so much, and we've talked about this, I've had so many people from all around the world like, oh my God, this was the best podcast. Like, bring Big Banana and his big bush back.
I'm back at it.
Bring his bush back.
The bush is down a little bit. It's
Thank God. I saw that you had clipped it the other day. It was really tantalizing because
moving on to the.
Well, you know how I knew that you clipped it?
No.
I knew you clipped your bush because around my toilet was a bunch of pubes.
I was probably just shaving.
Oh my God, Matt. Can you just clean up after yourself? Honest to God. It wasn't. If you have squiggles like that on your face, then you need to go somewhere.
No, probably.
Are you excited, though, to help these girls?
I'm so excited. I'm so excited to talk to them and work with them, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it is. Because
thank you for letting me on again.
Every week I'm just like, why do I keep doing this to myself?
Here I am again.
It's just punishment. It's punishment. So everything that we're saying here on the Ambitious Podcast, as you know, is our opinions.
Yes.
It doesn't mean we're going to tell you this and you're going to turn into Berkshire fucking Hathaway the next day.
No.
Or Elon Musk.
We're not accountants and we're not tax attorneys and we're not anything like that.
We just play one on television.
We just play them. Pretty good, though.
So don't fucking come for me and be like, I did what you said for 2 days and I'm not rich yet. Yes. I will literally be like, suck my ding dong. Open up wide and suck my ding dong. I will literally grow a dick just for these bitches to suck on it. I'm serious. I can't handle it anymore. These people are like, I did it for 2 minutes and I don't understand why I'm not rich.
I don't understand why either.
Dude.
I actually know why. Well, 2 minutes is not going to do anything.
Oh my God. But because obviously you guys know that I'm such a rich bitch that I don't have any freaking advertisements here. So the only thing that we ask you is to pay the toll troll.
By sharing this podcast.
Yes.
You're giving it a 5-star review, right?
I mean, yeah, they don't have to. I don't really give a shit about that. Just share it with your people.
Do that because I'm on it.
Yeah.
It's about me.
Yeah, but you know that 5-star reviews don't get you anywhere?
Really?
No.
Well, it's my ego. I like it.
Get rid of that.
I'm joking.
No one gives a shit about 5-star reviews. Obviously, I love to see the 5-star reviews because there's so many women from all over the world that I don't know, right?
Yes.
That say like how I've changed their life and how the Ambitious movement has changed their lives. But if you're out there and you have a podcast and you're asking for 5-star reviews, it actually doesn't help you at all.
Really? So, okay, tell me what helps because we want to help.
So all that really helps is that people share it with their people.
Nice.
So like, text this link wherever you listen to podcasts, whether it's, iTunes or it's Spotify or it's Podbean or it's whatever the fuck. I don't know what you crazy kids are doing nowadays. I don't know because Mr. Ed Sullivan does all that shit for me. I just do my work here. I drop it and I fucking walk away.
It goes away,
Yeah, but just share it. Like send it to your friends, text friends, share it in your social media and extra points. And I always on my Instagram because I don't have Facebook. Because it's literally the swamp of sadness. And honestly, maybe Instagram's next to go because I have my own goddamn app, the Ambitious app on Mighty Networks. Get on over there.
I love the Ambitious app.
It's so fun, right? Get on over there. It's in the show notes. Because someday I might just be like, bon voyage, Instagram. You've gotten also sad and swampy. But if you are on Instagram and you tag me in your post, I will give you a huge shout out on my stories and my Instagram as well. So that's really all that I ask.
Yeah.
It's not too much of a fucking ask.
That's easy.
I mean, I show up here week after week. Like, who the fuck do you think I am?
Katie motherfucking Boyd.
Oh my God, seriously. I am Katie motherfucking Boyd. All right, let's fucking do this because I am sick of all these broke hoes.
Okay. Well, we went over the broke hoes last time.
Yes.
I was a broke hoe. And I had to learn.
What's the most broke hoe shit you've ever done in your life? Let's talk about that.
All right. Well, I got my car repossessed.
That's right.
21 years old.
Let's talk about that.
I bought a Cadillac and I loved the car.
What was it? Cadillac what?
It was Seville.
Oh, you are such a pimp.
I was pimping it and it was a beautiful car. I loved it. I bought it used.
What color was it?
It was like tan, I believe, if I remember. It was like
just like your nipples?
Just like my nipples. And it was it rode so nice and it was awesome. And then I was, working and then I was like, oh well, I'll just pay it next week. And I'm going out partying tonight. And then it was like, okay, I'll pay it the week after. Then all of a sudden I get a call in the middle of the night and there's somebody out there with a tow truck. He goes, we're taking your car. I was like, what do you mean you're taking my car? He goes, well, if you just give me the keys, it will make it a lot easier. It's like, give me the keys. Here's the keys.
Are you kidding me?
And he goes, you can just pick it up. Well, I called him back next day. No, sir. That car is not being picked up.
Shut up.
$1,000 to get it.
Were you living with your mom and dad?
No, I was not. I was living on my own at the time. And it was the craziest thing. But, something that was probably the best thing that ever happened to me because it was such a moment where I was like, I will never, ever let this happen again.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never be in this situation. And at that point, I was in college at the time because I graduated when I was like 24 years old because I paid for school myself. So I had a lot of responsibilities on me, but I was still a broke hoe. I was acting like an ass.
Yeah.
Right? Not paying my bills, thinking that I had to drive this fancy car and I was renting an apartment and, all these different things and, not good, but it never happened again after that. And I just dug in and worked and got myself out of debt. And I also had credit card debt. And all sorts of things that I was buying, I didn't even know what I was paying for anymore.
Yeah.
It was meals and entertainment and stuff that, that was, Jesus, bringing up some memories.
Oh my God, dude. I really do feel like the things that happen to you financially that are the worst things are the best things for you.
It's always the way, right?
Because you never make that mistake again because it's so embarrassing and it's so like, it's so low vibe. It's just like makes my butthole pucker just thinking about it.
If you learn, it will never happen again. But
yes.
Go back there real quick if you start doing the same activities, right, that get you into that problem.
And there's older people, like I'm talking in their 60s, 70s, and 80s that still do broke hoe shit.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Like they're just like living paycheck to paycheck or they're still working and they're in their 70s and 80s and then they're buying their grandchildren all kinds of shit like iPhones and iPads and this thing and that thing. And it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, not good.
Oh, no. I've done a lot of broke hoe shit in my day, too.
Yeah, I think we all have. Unless we grew up with somebody who was teaching you right from the get-go. Even then, they probably go awry.
When I was like 18 or 19, I used to go to the Silver City Galleria in Taunton all the time. That was like our big mall.
Oh, yeah.
And I used to open a credit card in every fucking store.
Yes.
So I had a Victoria's Secret card. Yeah.
Off the purchase.
Yeah, I had like a Macy's card, an Abercrombie card, an American Eagle card. I had a fucking card to every goddamn place. And I was like, oh my God, I get 15% off the first time.
Is that great?
Oh my God. And then you go,
excited.
Oh, so juicy. And then you
get the bill. And it's 29%.
29%. And I remember my mother, I was just like, I don't have to pay these credit cards. It's just like free money. And the freaking collectors were calling my mom's, because I was living with my mom at the time, right?
Yeah.
And they would call and call and call and call. And my mom had to literally call all my credit cards and like get me, how they consolidate all the credit cards or whatever.
Yes.
And she's like, if you ever fucking do this again, I'll fucking kill you. And I was like, I'll never do it again. And then like probably like 5 years later, I was like, I'm going to go work at like 3 strip clubs and like 2 bars and bartend and shake my fucking ass and like give guys massages. And then I'm going to go buy Louis Vuitton bags.
Oh, that's a good thing.
Wasn't that smart?
That's smart.
I didn't fucking know any better.
Who the hell did? Yeah.
I just wanted to impress people that, I didn't even know.
You didn't know anybody, and if there were anybody, they wouldn't care.
Yes.
Right? They don't care about bags.
Yes.
Nobody cares about bags.
You know what I also was thinking the other day? And I want to talk about this today, and I haven't talked to you about it, but these girls who they date men for money.
Really?
We didn't... Shut the fuck up, Matt.
I was probably one of them.
Oh, you were a girl that used to date guys for money?
No, I was one of the guys that had the money.
Shut the... When? When your fucking Cadillac?
My Cadillac. I was pimping it.
You were like...
they're all after me because of my money. $2 they're up together.
I can see Matt with his afro and his like pimp fucking coat was like made of chinchilla. You were like, from now on, you talk to fucking Louis. You don't talk to fucking me directly. No, what was that the Denzel Washington movie?
Denzel Washington. What is it? American Gangster?
Yeah, you were like American Gangster. You talk to Huey. You don't talk to me.
That was something.
You were like that ice guy.
Yeah.
What was that pimp guy's name?
Iceberg Slim.
Yeah, you were Iceberg Slim.
No, so he was a brutal criminal. I was not like Iceberg Slim.
You were on your way, though.
I was on my way to something. I had no role model.
Thank God for martial arts.
Dude, martial arts saved me.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. And getting shit repossessed.
Yes.
And being like, I don't want to ever feel this feeling again.
No, martial arts actually trained me to say, hey, if you work hard on something, you can have something.
Yeah.
You set goals, you do certain things, you write things down, and you take action, and
Mm-hmm.
you make things happen. And
Totally.
it happens not only in martial arts, but it happens in finance, business, whatever you want to do with your body. Anything you write down, it starts to creation.
Absolutely. So back to the broke hoe shit with these girls that like instead of like going to work for themselves or being entrepreneurs for themselves or, climbing the corporate ladder or whatever, you want to do to like make money in your life, to attract money into your life. I know that you know this, so don't act stupid right now. Right. There's so many women in the world, and I have done this before, BTW.
Yes.
Look at all the ugly guys I've ever dated. They all had money.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Thanks. I did not know this.
What do you think? I was dating them for their looks?
Am I good looking?
No, Matt, first of all, when I met you, I was very established.
Yeah, of course.
I didn't need your fucking, measly fucking money.
Yes, it was never measly, but I understand you probably had.
I was not with you, probably, but I was not with you because of money.
Yes,
I was with you because I loved you
because of money.
I've actually dated guys like that,
I believe it.
Yeah, they were like,
especially when you had a TV show and you were doing a lot.
Oh yeah,
you opened your gym and you were doing really, really well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was a sugar mama.
Sugar mama.
But there's a thing called sugar daddies.
Yes.
And these girls are sugar babies.
I know all about them.
There's a whole, there's websites out there where you can just go and get sugar daddies.
Really?
And be their sugar babies. And you don't even have, I doubt this is true, but you don't even have to have sex with them. They just pay your bills and give you hair and they buy you Chanel. Yeah,
yeah,
we
I should go get some fucking hair.
Maybe you should get a sugar daddy.
I need a sugar daddy. I'm bald as a bean. I need to get some hair. Hey, come on over here, sugar daddy.
Bald as a bean? Not a bean, Matt. Oh my God. Could you imagine? We could hook you up after we get off the podcast today. We could get on sugardaddy.com and you could be like, give me some weave, daddy.
Give me some weave. I need to be like the ladies' man.
Yeah. Oh my God. With your Courvoisier. Oh my gosh. But there's this thing that these girls do this and they think it's funny and cute.
Yeah.
But there's nothing worse because I've done it before. And I've also had it done to me.
Yes.
Where people are with people for money.
Or access.
Yes.
Yeah.
Access to what? So climbing certain ladders, social ladders.
People who this person, I know that person.
Yeah, who you know and who you blow.
And they're probably running around broke as a joke.
Yeah. Well, big hat, no cattle. Most people, it's funny because we were talking the other day how I was showing you one of my girlfriends on Instagram and she was buying this $50,000 purse.
Yeah.
And he's like, Matt, he's like, well, where's she live? I'm like, I told her, oh, she's fucking renting that place.
Yep.
She's doing this, she's doing that. And I'm saying to myself, that's some shit right there.
The onion. Peel the financial onion.
That's a stinky onion.
The spiritual onion. Sometimes you got to peel that financial onion.
So before we start the real nitty gritty, I just want to say, stop being the sugar baby, whatever the fuck it is, because I'm telling you right now, there's nothing worse than being in a fucking relationship trapped by a man who pays your fucking bills.
Not good.
It's so demeaning. Okay. It's so degrading. And it's the opposite of it being ambitious.
And being empowered, right? Ambitious and empowered.
Yeah.
And being able to stand on your own 2 feet, right? Financially, spiritually, and be able to look in the mirror and say, hey, something, I may not have whatever, but I'm doing this myself.
I can't tell you how many women that I've coached over the years that they're in marriages or relationships that they're only in them because they are financially controlled by the man.
Wow.
And it's so sad to me.
Yes.
And what people don't understand is if you really, truly trust the universe has your back and you leave those types of situations and you say, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I can't be in this relationship anymore because I have to have integrity, not only for myself, but just for energy in general.
Yes.
The universe always gets your back.
Yeah.
Money comes in out of literally nowhere. Yes. It manifests.
It's just taking a stand. Right? And taking a stand and making things happen.
Right.
I mean, it's going to be hard work. It's not easy.
No.
But at least you're going to be able to do it.
Absolutely. So stop the madness, bitches.
Yep.
I'm not going to say anymore, but this is a real thing. And it's a fucking epidemic. And I think it's just very low vibe and disgusting.
Yep.
And I'm only saying that because I've done it before and I've had it done to me.
Yes.
And I'm sure that you have also back in the day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's stop the madness. And that's not being the HBIC of your ambitious life. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right, let's go, dude. Tell all these broke hoes how to stop being broke hoes and be rich bitches.
Well, I can tell you how not to be a broke hoe because like I told you, I was a broke hoe, and it's not easy. It is hard. But you know something, anything that's worthwhile is hard.
Yes.
You know, working out, doing things. And I'll tell you, you know, financial education is everything is out there. So you can go and learn these things and read about them. You can watch it on YouTube. You can ask people that have affluence if you know people that are doing well. But the number one thing that rich people or wealthy people do, they do the things that failures don't like to do, right?
Ooh.
Failures do not like to take a look at themselves.
True.
Right? They always blame other people.
Victim mentality.
They blame circumstances. They blame people. They blame this one didn't have this
the economy
5 years ago. I would be here.
Yep.
Or you know, the economy is bad. I can't do this. I can't do that.
Who the president is.
Recession. Wait till the next president gets in. I mean, if I'm waiting on a freaking president to make my life better, come on. It's not gonna happen.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. It's not going to happen, right? You got to make your own stuff happen. You're the president of your own life, right? So some of the things that failures don't like to do, you know, they don't like to maybe, you know, set goals, right? If you set goals, whether it's financial goals or whatever goals, this is a financial podcast, so let's stick with the finances. You have to set goals. I don't care if you're making $500 a week or $5,000 a week or $100,000 a week. It doesn't matter. You can spend it. You can burn through it. You can go through it if you're not planning. And we've all been there. We've all made some big money. We've made small money or whatever the case may be. But you have to know what you're making. And you have to set goals. And you have to be passionate about what you're doing, right? So you may not be passionate about what you're doing right now, but you can be passionate about where you're going and what, you know, using the job maybe that you're in now as a stepping stone to say, hey, I'm doing this now because I have to put bread on the table. I got to take care of things. But my goal is X. And this is where I'm going to be in a year, 2 years, whatever the case may be. And it takes time. It's not going to be easy, but you have to establish what's my purpose? What's my goal? And let me start working towards it.
Yeah. And reverse engineer it. So if you're like, oh, my goal is to make $100,000 this year. Mm-hmm. Well, how are you going to do that?
Yes.
So how? Like reverse engineer. Yeah. I'm going to sell X amount of units of this product that I sell, or I'm going to.
And these are things that failures don't want to do. You know, you have to be able to sell something. So if you have a job, let's say conversation. I always had 2 jobs growing up. And the reason being is what I did learn, and I didn't want to be a broke hoe anymore. I said, I'm not going to leave my destiny in someone else's hands. So if this job goes under, I'm going to have something else that I can do, or I'm going to have another skill that I can use, or I'm going to have another out that I can say, oh, this failed. Now I can work on this, right? So I always like to have a couple things going. Most people that are wealthy have more than one stream of income.
Correct.
And there's a reason for that. And there's a reason because you want everything to flow together. If one's down, maybe the other one's up.
Do you know how many I have? I wrote it down the other day.
I don't know.
I mean, I always knew.
I know you have a lot.
25.
Different things that you're working on at any time.
Right.
Yeah.
Between.
It's all ambitious.
Yes.
It's all ambitious.
It's one umbrella.
One umbrella.
Right.
There's many assets to that.
Right.
That's awesome.
Because it's like A28P, Ambitious Academy, my mentorship program, Bitchapalooza, the book, Bitch Box, Swags, speaking engagements, all these different things. And at the end of the month, you may say, oh, I made $1,000 here, and I made $5,000 here, and I made $10,000 here, whatever.
Right. It all adds up.
Throw it on the pile.
And the little stuff adds up too.
It does.
Big time. If you look at it, say, oh, it's only $400. Well, okay. Every time you say it's only $400, at the end of the year, it's probably $40,000.
And well, it's the same way when you spend. Right. You go, I'm only going to swipe this. It's only $300, and then at the end of the month, you're like, good Lord.
How the hell that happens, right? You got to make sure. And the thing is,
i.e., my Amazon.
You know, and what the rich people do is they also look at what they're spending. And you know, the worst things I hate to do is when I have to go to a bank. And when you go to a bank, you have to get naked financially in front of everything. So you can think you're worth X. But by the time they're done looking at what you
and they see your bush,
and they see your bush, your financial
bush.
Everyone thinks, oh, my house is worth this, and I'm making this, and I'm really doing well, and all this. And then the bank gets you, and they're looking at everything,
honey,
and they're just looking at everything, and then they're like, okay, this is what you really have. This is what your illusion is.
That always hurts.
And you know, you get better at the real stuff, the more times you go to the bank and
Yes.
you try to do an investment or whatever, a deal or whatever the case may be. But it is a rude awakening. If any of you guys have ever bought a condo or a home or anything like that, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Right? And sometimes it's even when you're buying a car, right?
Oh.
If you're just starting out and you're just trying to get your credit back online, or you're just trying to get, something that you want to buy on credit or whatever the case may be, they go through everything. And you're like this. I remember my face every time. And my face gets better and better every time because I'm more confident
Right.
and I've done it before. And I know they're going to go up my ass and look at everything.
Yep.
But it's still, it's puckering.
Remember the
It's
time that
puckering.
I bought a BMW like years ago?
Yes.
And the guy like ran my credit report and he was like, wow, you are so in debt.
Yeah.
But it was all good debt.
It was both of our debt.
He goes, it was my debt and Matt's debt.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, oh my God, if I had that much debt, he goes, I'd kill
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
And I was like, I love it.
This debt was commercial real estate.
Yes.
It was, a home. It was.
But that scares
investment.
people who aren't financially literate.
Right. Now, if it was credit card debt,
Ew,
and
no.
it was the same number,
No.
I'd be probably ready to jump off the BMW head first, right? So, but those are the things that being able to go to the bank and be able to look at your finances, and and if you have a business or you work for somebody, you need to probably get some kind of side hustle.
Yeah.
Right? So I call it a side hustle, meaning whatever it is, an online marketing company,
Direct sales.
direct sales,
Yeah.
or, something that you can own and then take advantage of, like some of the tax deductions
Yes.
that owning a part-time business can give you.
Right. Because can you tell people because I love this. I'm obviously, you're educating me as you talk, because it's a good reminder, but how you were saying like doctors and lawyers and these people that are salaried and employees of the hospital, or
Yes.
they work for a firm or whatever, they're fucked because they have no tax write-offs.
No tax write-offs. And business owners, if you own a business, they have all of the tax deductions, right? And they can write off so many things where, let's say I'm a doctor and I'm making $450,000 a year.
Which seems great in the grand scheme of things.
Which is great, but you're in the highest tax bracket. And guess who gets paid first? If you look at your paycheck, the government gets
Uncle
paid
Sham.
first. They're not waiting and saying, all right, well, let's give them the $450,000 and then we'll ask for the money
Nope.
back. No, they take it right off the top. And people that get a paycheck are the highest taxed individuals.
What is the tax bracket right now for those poor bastards?
Probably about 38.
Oh my
39%,
Lord! Can you
something like
imagine?
that.
Can you
That's-
imagine?
That's just federal. So then you probably have state. You have what do you call it? Social Security.
Yeah.
You have Medicare tax.
Yes.
You have some healthcare
Yeah.
taxes.
And then you're paying into your 401k if you are.
Yeah. So a lot of money goes right out the door. But,
Damn.
But I think the number one thing is you have to pay yourself first, right? You have to act like the government and say, something, the first $200, I'm just using round numbers. The first $200 a week that I get paid is going to go into my savings account. Or $150 is going to go into a 401k or some kind
Or
of
an S&P.
an S&P retirement account, or whatever the case may be. You have to pay yourself first, because you can't wait and hope there's going to be something left over after you pay everybody else, because you'll never be able to get ahead. And you know something? If you have to, you'll find a way to make that extra money, but have it automatically taken out. Ask your employer, if you're working at a job right now, say, hey, listen, I want to start a savings account. I want to have $200 a month, let's say, it's a conversation, taken directly out of my account. I don't want to see it. I want it to go into the savings account.
Right.
And don't touch it. Try to make it as difficult as possible
Yes.
to get at it, because that's the only way you're going to be able to save. Number two, I would definitely invest in your 401k if you have one at work, or a 403b, or whatever the retirement program you have, because that's money that's going to go, number one, it's tax-free. They take that out first and you don't pay the tax on it.
Right.
It goes into the account and it starts working for you right away. Right. So, but some people will say, oh my God, but the stock market is down. It's horrible. I hear all these things in the news.
Yes.
Guess what? The rich people are buying the stocks when they're low. All right. It's the only stocks. And the only thing like I can say is, if you had a BMW, let's go back to the BMW.
Yes.
Say it's a $40,000 BMW. And tomorrow they say, oh, everything's going down. We're going to sell you this BMW for $20,000. Would you be going, oh my God, it's gone down. I'm not going to buy the $20,000 BMW. No, you're going to buy it. You're gonna
absolutely.
be like, oh my God, it was 40, now it's 20.
Yes.
But with stocks, people don't think that way. They're like, oh my God, it's going down. And they don't buy it. The rich people will buy things if it's a good company.
Yes.
If it's GM, or if it's, a Louis Vuitton, or if it's a good company.
Right.
they'll buy that stock no matter what the price is because they know they have faith in the organization.
So can we just hold that for 1 second? Because
Sure.
I have had a lot of girls reach out to me because I talked a lot about the S&P 500 stock account on our last week's podcast.
Yes.
Can you explain a little bit of what the S&P is? Just like, just in layman's terms, we don't have to get technical, but that's number one. And then number two, the best way to open one. Because people are like, how do I do it? It's so scary.
Right. So to number one, the S&P 500 is the top 500 stocks, the top 500 strongest companies that are in the United States of America. So if they have a lot of problems, we all have a lot of problems. Right. So those are the best stocks. So over time, they will produce probably about 8 or 9%, 8%, let's say, sake conversation, over a long time. Sometimes they'll be down, sometimes they'll be up. But the thing is if you're buying it every single month, sometimes you'll be buying it when it's low. Sometimes you'll be buying it when it's high. But over time, the course of time, you probably will end up with your 8%.
Yes.
This has been studied for since the Great Depression.
Absolutely.
Or whatever the case may be.
And they don't have to buy stocks. Because I think that a lot of the girls are like, I'm not at the Wolf of Wall Street. And I'm like, the Wolf of Wall Street was doing penny fucking stocks. It was a whole fucking scheme. And he was a criminal. I mean, I love Jordan Belfort. I think he's fucking hilarious, but he was a criminal. So here's the deal. When you invest in the S&P 500 stock account, it's easy. You just go on whatever.
You can go TD Ameritrade, go Merrill Lynch, any stock brokerage.
Go on their website.
And they'll be happy to help you do it. And they'll give you the education that you need. You know, I got into stock market. I read one little book. It was, The Motley Fool. Great book. You know, it teaches you how to buy stocks. And you know what he said? There was this one scenario where a guy had all this Harley Davidson stuff on. And he, Harley Davidson shirt, and he had a Harley Davidson, and he goes, well, what are you investing in? He asked the stock expert. He goes, what are you investing? He goes, well, I just bought this .com stock. And he goes, why did you buy a .com stock? He goes, well, that's where everything's going. Everyone's buying this thing. He goes, well, you're wearing Harley Davidson. Have you looked at them lately? They've been making money hand over fist, and you're buying all of this stuff.
Right.
It's right under your nose, the good companies that if you like it and your friends like it, they're probably doing well.
Yes.
Right? And it's something that you know and you like because you're buying it. Why not own the stock instead of the product?
So what I did was when I started first doing S&P 500, I went on their website. So I use TD Ameritrade, but like you said, there's other ones that you can use. So just check out whatever you feel most comfortable using. And you literally can either do it online or you can call the 1-800 number and you can say, okay, I know every month, and I do it with like what I get back in my taxes.
Yes. Which is
for me, that feels comfortable or whatever.
Yeah.
So let's just say for the sake of conversation, you're getting, $30,000 a year back in taxes. Okay. You would take that money and you would divide it up equally over a 12-month period. Correct. And you would have the trader that's helping you.
Get back $5,000.
Doesn't matter.
If you get back $4,000, you can do it.
It doesn't matter how much it is. No, you don't have to put tons of money into an S&P 500 stock account. You could literally put $150 a month.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And so what will happen is the trader, the person that you're working with, goes in and sets up the automatic, like it's a debit. Yeah. So every month you pay out of your, I pay out of like my checking account.
Yeah.
And I just know, okay, every month they're going to take this money and they're going to allocate it into the S&P 500 stock account. And I don't really even pay attention to it. I mean, I do. I check it a couple times a month on my app, but I'm not like, if there's a bad day in the stock market, I'm not like, oh my God, I'm going to jump off the building because it's
a bad day in the stock market. I'm like, I'm hoping I'm buying today.
Yes.
Because you're getting a good value, right? Because a lot of it's emotion and it has nothing to do with the actual company.
Yes.
So that's the good thing about it. You're buying at all different price points.
I love that.
And that's why it comes out to the long term. It will come out to where you should be ahead.
Did you ever know, this is like kind of weird, but do you know Benjamin Franklin, obviously?
Yeah.
Right. So he was like the father of compounding interest.
Oh, yeah.
So there's this whole thing where, he died in 1790, but 1 year earlier, so before he died, he left the equivalent of $4,444
wow.
to each of the cities of Boston and Philadelphia in his will, and under the condition that the money would be loaned and invested to young apprentices that had proven worthy of a loan. He stipulated that the cities would have access to a portion of the funds after 100 years and receive the remaining funds after 200 years. So when the cities, both Boston and Philadelphia, received their balances after 200 years, so he invested $4,444.
Yep.
So after 200 years, the combined bequeathed had grown to $6.5 million.
Wow.
Is that not crazy?
That's why you're just going to hang in there for 200 years.
That's why you got to live forever. You got to do all the biohacking, so you just are like a fucking old turtle in the Galapagos Islands.
It just points out, right, for a $4,400 investment, right, over that much time.
I love how he did $4,444.
Yeah,
that's my jam. That's my jam right there.
I love the fours.
Oh, me too.
But you can see how lucrative it is.
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
Now let's take it to like 30 years.
Yeah.
Right? And if you put in $4,000 a year, not one time,
right,
$4,000 a year for 30 years,
yes,
25 years. You're going to spend the money anyways, and you're going to get old anyway. So you might as well just put the freaking money in there and have something when you're a little older that you have for yourself, right?
And you said it's at 8%?
Yeah, 8%.
Okay, so yeah, times 30 years.
Yeah.
So that's an extra $10,000. That's $106,650.60.
Wow.
For that little amount of money.
Little bit of money. Yeah.
So what the fuck?
Do it.
Do it. Do it. All right, give us more, Big Bernard. Give us more.
Okay, so next thing is going to be is what failures don't like to do. If you do have a small business, you have to make those calls. You have to do the sales. You have to make the calls. You have to take action every single day. You have to look at things like accounting. You have to look at things like collections.
Can't put your fucking head in the sand like a goddamn...
Collections is key. You have to collect the money that's out there that, you know, you're billing or you're selling. You have to be established legally, right? You should have a business and know that it's legal and
you're protected
the right way. So you're protected. So once your business does take off, that you're not going to get sued. And
I can't tell you how many girls are like, "Oh, I just use my own name for my business." I'm like, "Are you fucking high?"
Yeah.
Like, get a fucking LLC, man.
Yeah, it takes 2 minutes.
2 minutes, and it's like a couple $100 or something.
I know you coach a lot of women in getting LLCs and setting up corporations.
Or it could be a B Corp, it could be S Corp, it could be LLC. I don't give a shit what it is, but make sure that you are protected.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. Yeah. I love it. And you are your greatest asset, right? So, you know, it's like, oh, well, you know, look at yourself as the greatest asset. You're the one that has to get up and power your life every single day. Make sure that you're always learning and always asking questions, right, to the right people. And if you don't know the right people, guess what? There's coaches out there. You can find the right people. There's financial advisors.
Go on YouTube.
That you can ask. There's accountants that you can ask. There's all different people that you can ask these questions
to.
And I ask everything.
Me too.
I'm always asking.
I'm so annoying. I don't give a shit.
I'm like the first one to say, I don't know what the heck you're talking about. Please, can we get on a phone call? Can you explain this more to me? I don't understand what it is.
But you know what happens? And I coach a lot of these people, not so much anymore, but they just look at me and go, "Oh, yeah. And I'm like, I know this bitch doesn't know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Because they're embarrassed because they don't want to seem stupid or foolish or naive or whatever.
Right.
You are stupid, foolish, and naive if you don't ask the person who knows what you don't know the question.
And I don't know anything.
Me neither. I'm a dumb bitch.
I'm always learning.
Yes,
asking
me too.
All the time.
When you think that you're too smart, that's when shit hits the fan.
Yes.
Right? Don't you think?
Yeah.
I love how you also said, don't put your head in the sand and whatever. I think so many people lie to themselves about where they are financially.
Yes.
Especially the people that have like a salary type of job, because they'll say to me, "Oh, I make $100,000 a year," but I'm like, yeah, but after fucking taxes.
Right.
And then paying on just the minimum of everything just to live.
Yeah.
Most people that are making 6 figures a year can barely scrape by in this economy.
You're right. And then whatever their spending habits are, right?
So it's not just some of these people. It's out of control.
You know, I used to hear, I don't know where it all goes.
Shut up.
I wouldn't want to work for a company or be involved with a business with somebody else. I don't know where this money's going.
Shut up.
Not good.
That is low vibrational.
And if you don't know, find out.
Yes.
Write it down. Look at your credit card statements. Look at all your bills and say, okay, this is what's happening here. And look at how much is coming in.
Yes.
And what do you say? Take it in the face.
Yeah, take it to the face.
Take it to the face.
Take it to the face. Yeah, just take it to the face.
Take it in the face. And you got to just look at it. And, if you don't know, you can't really make any adjustments. You can't make any changes, right?
Check yourself before you riggedy wreck yourself.
Yeah, that's the hardest part. That was the hardest part for me, is to really look at where I am.
And then look at where you are and know where you are and be super fucking like radical responsibility and super truthful and stop lying to yourself. Don't make excuses. You're going to have to, like you said, take it to the face, have that harsh reality. But as soon as you figure out like where you are, you have to take swift and immediate action.
Yes.
Because a lot of people are just like, oh, well, like you did when you got your fucking big hog repossessed. You thought you were Boss Hog.
I thought it was Boss Hog, but I wasn't. Big cat, no cattle.
I can't even take it. Like when you were Boss Hog and you were getting your shit repoed.
Yes.
You said it when we first started the podcast. I just kept being like, I'll just pay it next week. I'll just pay it next week.
To it, right? And it all catches up, right? I mean, it's one of those things that you have to constantly be looking at, where am I?
Yes.
Right?
Clean fucking house.
Am I going closer to my goals, or am I getting farther away? And sometimes, to clean house, you have to go a little bit backwards to be able to go forward.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Always.
Right? I mean, did you ever clean your house? It's like, oh my God, it looks like shit worse than I even started.
Yes.
Right? You got all these papers around and organization. But you have to start there to figure out, okay, what do I need? What do I don't need? Let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of that.
Right.
And it's a messy process. And it's something that, like I said, the failures don't want to do it. They don't want to look at stuff real, right?
Absolutely.
And that's so hard to do.
The other thing I think is really interesting that you said, and I'd like to kind of pontificate on it because I think it's going to just inspire a lot of women, is, and I'm just obviously paraphrasing what you said, like have an extra vehicle for making money, creating wealth.
Yes. I
think a lot of people are like, especially if they have like a salaried job. I work with a lot of women who are like teachers, they're secretaries, like they make this amount of money and that's it. And they'll probably never make more. This is just like where they're at.
Correct.
And I'm like, okay, so you work 40 hours a week, let's just say.
Yeah.
There's 58 or 68 hours in the week.
Yep.
And you're sleeping maybe 6, 7, 8 hours a week, and you're working your 40 hours. You have probably, I think I said it on my 3-4 podcasts ago, you probably have at least 8 to 10 extra hours a day
to be able to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So stop being a fucking lazy bitch.
Yeah.
Like I have 15 jobs, man. You have 15 jobs, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you work for a healthcare company, a very prestigious healthcare company, right? That you've been with 20 plus years. Mm-hmm. Then you fucking go to the dojo all night long.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like crazy.
That's my passion. I know. I love business and I love work and I love doing things and I love that. That's my passion.
Yes.
So that's what I said in the beginning is find your passion. Right? What you're passionate about. I love doing business. I love doing those type of things. So I go nuts if I didn't have those
Could you imagine?
To do. Because it's like I have to always be progressing. That's just me. I love to relax and have fun. And,
we work hard, we play hard.
Yeah.
I mean, we definitely do that. But we've earned the right to do that.
Yeah.
But when we were broke hoes, and we were like hip to it, like, oh, we're being broke hoes, we like pulled our heads out of our asses and we're like, okay, I don't care if I come hell or high water, if I have to work 20 hours a fucking day, I will do it.
And if you're doing what you love, it's not work. Like,
no.
I really enjoyed doing, like yesterday I was teaching, it was a Saturday, and I was teaching at the studio, and I was lighting these kids up. And I knew I was lighting them up, and I knew I was creating change in my martial arts studio. And not just change because they can kick better or punch better. I'm talking about inside change. I'm talking about confidence. I'm talking about focus. All the things, like the parents will go to me, oh my God, I can't even have him stand still for 2 minutes. You had him with 30 other kids in the studio and he didn't move. And I'm like, wow, thank you very much for the compliment. But that's my passion, right? So that's what juices me. I could do that all day long. And even Katie came out, she's like, that was, great class because she was helping me because we're so busy. And I was just like, I could just do this from 7 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock at night.
Well, that's my 16th job, Mom.
Right? And that's
working as your assistant.
My assistant.
Oh my God, it's just not fair.
But I think it's mindset too, because I came from a poor mindset, a poor person's mindset. My parents would be like, why would you want to knock yourself out for the money that you get?
Oh my God.
Right? Well, think of those words. You're in a job. Why do I want to break my neck and bust my butt for somebody else that owns a company? Well, guess what? That's as far as you're going to go if you have that attitude. If you're going to stay there and become irreplaceable, if you're going to stay there and become a star at the company or at that job, guess what? They're going to pay you more.
That's
Guess
right.
what? They're going to have to pay you more
Because you're so valuable.
You're valuable.
That's
you
right.
leave, they have a problem, right? So they're going to have to do something to keep you. But if you're the first one to punch out in the day, you're the first one thinking about how the hell can I get out of here, you're not going to do well in life. Not today's economy. Not today.
You'll scrape by.
And 90%, probably 98% of the workers in the workforce are just looking at their clock.
Yes.
At 9 o'clock, they just get there. Oh, God, it's only 9:30. I can't wait to get the hell out of here.
Yes.
Get out of that business. Start making moves to get into something that you're passionate about.
That's right.
Because, like yesterday, the time could have been 10 hours. It could have been 3 hours. It could have been 14 hours. It really didn't make a difference to me because the passion is what drives you.
Yeah.
To be excellent, you have to have that passion.
That's right.
Right?
The other thing that just came up to me while you were talking, because you were saying, like, I grew up with, like, that broke mentality or whatever, and you probably heard your dad say shit and your mom say stuff, whatever. Mm-hmm. I think that's another huge thing on how to fix, your money and how to stop being a broke bitch is figuring out the ancestral lineage root of the poverty mindset or of that broke mentality mindset. Yeah. Because and listen, that's hard work. It's healing work. It's shadow work, figuring out, like, where you picked this up, who were the people that, gave you, instilled that faulty programming in your mind, like with all these type of, money doesn't grow on trees.
Mostly it's your parents.
Yeah, mostly it's your parents. But honestly, my grandparents said a lot of broke shit.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of teachers growing up that had poor mentality and caregivers that said a lot of broke shit.
Sometimes their executives say something that's
weird.
Like,
and you go, how did that?
Well, now we have to really buckle up because of the recession. I'm like, really? Actually, the statistics are that more people have more cash to spend after COVID than they ever had cash in their hands in so many years. That's the truth. So if you're like, oh, nobody has any money. Really? No. There's plenty of money out there. Tons of money out there. And it is just like waiting for your business.
Yes.
It is just waiting for your business. But you have to, like the movie Glengarry Glen Ross, you have to have the balls and the cannolis to go out there and get it.
The cannolis?
The cannolis? Yeah, the cannolis.
No, the cojones. Are you hungry?
I was probably hungry. I wanted the cannolis.
Oh my God. The cannolis. If you're going to have the cannolis to make this money.
I have to go on A2AP. So
well, you are tomorrow.
I'm probably thinking about freaking cannolis right now.
You're starting, so just buckle up, Buttercup.
You're going to have the cannolis to go on and do business.
Yes.
So I got a bag full of my Mike's pastry, and I'm going out there to do my business with my Mike's pastry.
No, modern's better.
Modern? Okay.
Modern pastry has better cannolis than Mike's pastries, just saying.
I would not throw either one of them.
No, samesies. Samesies.
Probably my problem.
But it's true, though. You're so right. Like, I really feel like that's a huge thing that people have to do is to do the ancestral healing work that people don't want to fucking do it. They don't want to say, like, oh, wow, I heard my grandmother every day for 10 years of my life say, like, money doesn't grow on trees and we can't afford that. And we've always been broke like this and whatever. It's like, you got to do the fucking work. I hate to be esoteric for a second because this is a very three-dimensional podcast where we're giving you like really concrete, concise tools
But if you want to dig into it, it really is your mindset about how money works and, what money has done and what have you been around as far as money, right?
Yes.
So if you have painful problems with money, right, then you're going to have pain with it.
And if you have fear of success because your family's always been poor, and you always get, and I see this a lot with a lot of the women I coach, like they get to a certain place in their business, in their career, and they can never like go over that hump.
Yes.
So say they're like making $100,000 a year, they can never get to the $250,000 or the $500,000. And I'm always like, you've got to figure out where this faulty programming started. And a lot of times it's because subconsciously they don't want to do better because they still want the approval and love from their family of origin.
Yes.
Because people will say, oh, don't get too big for your britches. Don't forget where you came from, blah, 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 blah. And like, even though we know it's fucking wrong, it's subconsciously in our grooved patterns of our brain.
Absolutely.
And it gets a hypnotic rhythm.
You know how you get out of that? Peer groups.
Yes.
Peer groups is key, right? When you start talking to somebody that, let's say you make $100,000 and now you're talking to somebody that makes $500,000.
Oh, it's different conversations.
Then it's a different conversation. When you say you want to make $200,000, they're like, yeah, I'll show you how to do it.
Yes.
Because I was at the same point. Peer groups are key because those people are talking different numbers, different solutions, and they're talking the language that you want to be around.
Yes.
And, I belong to a group that a bunch of martial art owners, they all own big, huge studios. And my studio's leveling up right now. And I have a group of people now that are talking things that I was like, wow, I can really do this and go to this next level and reach more clients and help more kids. And in the process, because of the law of reciprocity, I'm going to be able to grow.
Reciprocity?
What is it?
Reciprocity.
I'm having a hard time. I think that I'm on this A28P and I need some kind of...
Matt's keto flu. Matt has keto flu today. He's like, the reciprocity. You sound like, what's his name? Mike Tyson.
It was
I'm not going
to make fun of Mike.
I'm going to bite your ear.
I don't want him coming over to the house. I'm good.
I'm going to steal his fucking tiger.
It's the law, right?
It's the law of reciprocity.
It's the law of reciprocity. And it is going to happen, right? Because you're given, right? So that's how you become successful.
Yes.
But when you're around people, and I'm saying that because Katie has a lot of people that you coach, and you have a group of women that you talk about and talk to. And you're all pretty much in the same level, some higher, some lower, whatever the case may be, but you're all talking the same language.
Yes.
And if you're not in a group of those type of women or those type of men, then how are you ever going to level up? You can't, right? Because you're going to always have those things in the back of your head saying you can't do it, you're not enough, money doesn't grow on trees.
And you've never seen it. You've never seen it.
And you've never
so if you've never seen it, if the money is out there somewhere and it's not in that like inner circle, it's like, oh, it's just a figment of your imagination.
Yes.
Where like we have friends that are multi-millionaires, even billionaires.
Yes.
So we're like, yeah, it can be done. It's been done before. It's done again. Yes. How many people though in our lives since I've known you have we been friends with that we just fucking just ditch like a sack of shit on the side of the fucking road?
Sometimes you have to.
Why? Because why?
They're not going on the same ride I'm going.
And you think sometimes that they are.
Yes.
Because, we've had a lot of people in our lives that have come from very affluent families, very famous people that we've been friends with.
Yeah.
And they're rich, they're famous. Like we have this idea in our minds, like they could be great peer groups, and not for the sake of like I'm going to use them to get somewhere, but just like be around. No, I don't need any of that.
Around people that want to go places and do things, right? Because they inspire me. And I get juiced. When somebody else is so successful.
Me too.
I get so excited. I'm never jealous. I'm never like,
me neither.
oh, isn't it nice? I'm like, oh my God, it is nice.
Yeah,
that
high fucking
awesome.
Fives all around.
You freaking did it. It's so hard to be able to do these certain things that I'm working on doing. And I just kind of congratulate them. But sometimes it's just, even if they are that way, they look really good on paper. They just don't jive with me. Right?
What are some things that people have done in the past that you can think of off the top of your head that we are like, all right, that's enough?
People that I hang around with it, they would argue at dinner. They talk about politics or something, and I'm like, oh God, I don't want to talk about this. This isn't helping me. Number one, my time is very precious. Number two is if I'm hanging with you, it's because I really like your company and you bring something. You're funny, you're kind, you're sweet, you're a loving person. And sometimes you meet the person's representative, right? And they're really good for a little while. And then all of a sudden it's like, this is...
It's like, my precious. It's when they come out and they go, Matt, my precious.
Yeah, this is when I don't want to be around you. And it's kind of like, all right, then this will be the last dinner with these people.
Yeah, or if the bill comes and everyone fucking gets bunny ears.
Oh yeah, or they complain about the bill, and I'm like, I didn't come out to dinner. I came out to dinner to spend money and come out. If I wanted not to spend money, I would stay home.
Yeah,
so I don't want to.
I would have eaten cold cuts.
Oh my God, this is highway robbery. This is.
Oh my God, I can't believe how much this bottle of wine cost.
You were drinking it.
You were drinking it, bitch.
You were drinking it, and I don't want to hear about it at the end of it.
Or they don't want to stay at nice hotels. That's why I don't travel with people anymore unless I'm doing a retreat, because I've done that before in the past. And you're like, oh, these people they have great jobs. They're they seem wealthy on paper, blah blah blah. And then I say, oh, we're gonna stay here. They're like, good Lord, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, and I'd just be like, and that's why I think we do a lot of things alone. With specific people that we want to go with, and they know how we roll.
Yes,
I know how they roll. And we've been around together for so long that they don't give a shit. They can get up and leave in the middle of dinner and say, "Hey, that enough. I got to go now."
Yeah, we love them.
Like, love you. See you later.
Yeah, but we had really great conversation, and they talked about money and next level shit and not, oh my God, I can't believe how much the steak cost.
And I'm not perfect, right? So I'm not always perfect.
Really?
And these people
do tell.
They take me because of my imperfections and things that I don't know or whatever.
Yeah, and, like that bush.
It's a good the bush. It's a good mix of people now.
Yes. So if you were once our friends and now you're not our friends anymore, probably because you were being a broke hoe.
Yeah, something.
Or you had some kind of faulty language program that you couldn't get over.
Political or something like that.
I don't want, dude, I can't tell you how many times I've been around people that literally get like fist fights at dinner talking about politics. And I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck is going on.
I'm the president of my own company. And that's how I look at it.
That's right.
I really do. And I wake up every day with the intention to serve and be the best person.
Absolutely.
Get my reciprocity.
Reciprocity. Oh, it's my, I want to go see my tiger.
Did I say it the right way?
Yes, darling.
Thank God. I don't know what I was saying before.
I want to talk about this too. I think this is interesting because I got a lot of bitches that come and they want to do business coaching with me.
Yes.
And they want to get rich quick scheme.
Yeah.
How's that working?
No such thing. Get rich quick is not possible.
Well,
to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, okay. Oh, but what about Mark Zuckerberg? Zuckerberg, okay, he was the type of person that became very wealthy, but it wasn't quick. It was probably because
it's just what you saw.
It's what you saw. You didn't see him making Facebook,
right? Or that when they see Jeff Bezos and it's like his old Amazon. It was like in this fucking garage. He had like some printed out old computer paper things at Amazon.com.
There is no get rich quick. So if you want to get rich, you better work, bitch.
We'll talk about how when people get rich quick, what happens. Like there's actually a law around it. Do you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
Well, tell them.
Oh, well, there is a law. If you get rich quick and you're not able to manage it, right, then it all goes away.
Because why? You have to acclimate to the vibrational frequency of it.
You have to acclimate to it. You ever see like professional athletes that come into big money and they get big money and then...
Or someone wins the lottery.
They win a lottery and lottery people are all what? Broke within 3 years, in trouble with the IRS, having problems. Their family hates them because they didn't give them enough.
Yeah.
They give them $500,000 or something. It's like, you're right, you got $30 million. Why don't I have? Well,
there's a wisdom and a discipline.
Yeah.
Getting wealthy,
acquiring wealth.
Yes,
and you have to be able to be smart enough.
Yes,
to be able to deal with it.
And wise enough. And these people they haven't flexed that.
They haven't earned
muscle,
right? They haven't earned it that way. That wisdom.
Right.
So rich people that get rich slow usually will hang on to it for a very long time.
Yes.
And probably be able to pass it on if they choose to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A lot of girls have been asking me too what our favorite books are for wealth and investing and just anything about money in general.
So my favorite books are definitely Science of Getting Rich, which is an old book.
Wallace Wattles.
I think it was in the early 1930s. But guess what? It's like gravity.
Yeah,
it hasn't gone away. There's a science to getting rich and there's a science to getting poor. I choose to read the Science of Getting Rich. Great book. And it does a lot of the work like what Katie does, a lot of spirituality, creation, not competition, which I love. Knowing that there's going to be difficulties and to be able to overcome them on your way to be getting wealthy.
Yes.
I also love The Motley Fool for stocks. And learning how to trade in the stock market. It goes real basic and it teaches you, it's like, okay, well, if you have $20,000 worth of credit card debt, pay the debt off first before you invest because you're not going to make 29% in the stock market and you're paying 29% in credit card debt. So it really cleans up your finances if you were having some problems with your finances. So it puts you on a strong foundation to be able to invest. And when you invest, it's money that you could lose. It's money that you don't need right away, right? Because it's called an investment. So they really put it out there great. That's one of my favorite books. And also Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
I love that. I love all three of those books.
Kiyosaki.
Such good books.
Real estate. And his story was he had a dad that was an educator, was a poor dad, and his best friend's dad was very wealthy. And he would pay attention to what his friend's dad was saying about money and how to get better. And that was his mentor.
Right.
And became obviously a multimillionaire and obviously a great author. New York's best-selling author for years.
Yeah.
And
so long that they had to take them off. They were like, sorry, Robert, like, this is outrageous.
I mean, the book is unbelievable.
Can you imagine?
And his all of his stuff is great. So those 3 books are my foundation.
So my number 1 is Think and Grow Rich. I always tell the story about how when I was 13 years old, I went into the Read More bookstore in Taunton, Massachusetts, and bought that book. And I've been working that shit since I was 13 years old.
Yeah.
So instead of buying my Babysitter's Club book or like my Goosebumps or whatever the hell.
She's pulling out Napoleon Hill.
I mean, and Napoleon Hill wrote this book, I think, in like 1937 or something like that.
The Great Depression.
During the Great Depression.
Right before the Depression.
Yeah. So I love that. I'm a huge fan of Gary Vaynerchuk.
Oh, yeah.
So he has one book that's called The Thank You Economy, and the other book is called Crush It. And again, this is more my vibe where it's like very much in your fucking face, like no fucking around. And then the other book that I really, really, really love is The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. Yeah, I love those books. I mean, I have a ton of other books that I've read about money.
Those are my top 3.
Yeah.
If I'm struggling with something, or I'll go back to them, and it's not like a read. Oh, that was nice. No, these books are a study.
Yes.
You know, you want to read them over and over again, or you want to get them on audio and listen to them over and over again, so it gets ingrained in you.
Yes.
When you drive in to work or you're driving home, use it as nap time, right? No extra time, and just listen to these type of things and re-indoctrinate your mind the way that these people think.
Right. It's brainwashing in the opposite direction. So if you heard your whole life, like, money doesn't grow on trees and we can't afford this and we've always been poor and all this shit, you can also brainwash yourself to think that you're wealthy and abundant and all these things.
Yes.
The other 2 points that I want to make before we go is Stuart Wilde, who, rest in peace, Stuart. I love him. He's one of my favorites.
He's awesome.
He has written tons of books, and he also has a lot of audio. So if you want to check him out on YouTube, he has one of my favorite audios in the whole world. It's called The 33 Steps to Personal Power.
Yep.
And he talks about how, he talks a lot about Think and Grow Rich.
Yep.
He doesn't specifically call it out, but he says, a lot of books on money and a lot of education on money is about thinking and growing rich. And he says, I want to always take it a step further and I want to feel and grow rich. So I talked about this, I think, on last week's podcast, and I've been talking about this for a really long time. This is one of the things that really helped me, go to the next level, is he talks about, he's in London and he's like, go to the most la-di-da hotel in the city, la-di-da hotel. Yeah. And then even if you can only afford like one cocktail or a cup of coffee, go in there and be in the energy of wealth and opulence and abundance.
Yes.
And it starts to rub off on you.
Absolutely.
And he talks about going to like Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
He's like, go in there and sit in the car and sniff the car and touch the, steering wheel and all this stuff. And then what happens is you start to realize like there's more out there, right? There's more out there. So I think that that's a huge thing. So wherever you live, it doesn't matter if you live in East Cuddy Bumfuck or you live in New York City or Dubai or one of these wealthy, huge cities in our world, like go to the best restaurant, go to a nice hotel, go, get first class on your next, where you're going, vacation or whatever. Even if you're like, fuck, I can't afford this to that point, but start to do these little kind of tests on yourself to start to like manipulate the energy.
Be the person that you want to be.
Well, there you go.
Start being the person.
Be the person now.
Now, yes.
That you desire to become.
Yeah, that's huge.
Because it's a vibrational frequency.
Absolutely.
And then all of a sudden, your vibrational frequency will start to ramp up and it will start to attract like energy to it, right? And the other thing that I want to say, and this is just a fucking whatever, I don't know how many times I have to beat someone over the head with a fucking bat, but stop buying things with money that you don't have to impress people that you don't like.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we were saying last night, like rich people, they're not putting their Birkin bag on social media. No. Rich people aren't showing you
they don't want to show you anything because you're going to either steal it or you're going to be, whatever, right? They want to kind of just downplay it, or they're too damn busy making money. They don't have time for all this fucking shit unless there's some influencer. Most people
that have that kind of money, you would never even know them. Yeah. Like we belong to a really prestigious country club in Rye, New Hampshire. And everyone there is wealthy and abundant. They live in these beautiful homes in the summer, on the beach in New Hampshire. It's absolutely gorgeous. You could literally be at a restaurant there and be sitting next to someone who is like old money Rockefellers, Rothschilds. Like you wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even know. They dress like bums. They have like fucking Birkenstocks from like 1987 on. They have holy pants, right?
Yeah.
How many people that you know that are like really wealthy, and we have a lot of friends, they look like fucking bums.
They don't care about that.
They don't give a fuck. They're just like, who gives a shit? I know you love me, Maddie.
Yeah.
I don't have to dress up for you. I don't have to do this for you. I don't have to do that for you.
Great because I hate dressing up too.
I know you do. You always look like you're a fucking one nutter butter away from the nitwit house. Goodness.
I grew up in the nitwit house. I know all
same, bitch. Same. Do you have anything else to say to these future rich bitches?
Yeah, the one thing I really loved is an interview that Oprah Winfrey had with Tom Brady.
Oh.
And Tom Brady
Tell me more.
He goes, Oprah, I'm my asset. I have to keep myself in best shape, strong, mentally, physically. But we're all, she goes, well, aren't we all our own asset? And he goes, yeah, but he knows he's his asset. Okay. Whether he's playing professional football or whatever, you have to know that you're your most highest asset. It's you.
Absolutely.
And then you can reflect and be able to attract what you deserve in desire. Right.
Absolutely.
So that was really a great, really woke me up. And I said, yeah, because I'm the one that has to go and sell the product, or I'm the one that has to be strong enough to teach these kids, or I'm the one that has to be strong enough to make the hard decisions for our home and family together with you. And we really are our own asset. And that really resonated with me. I hope it resonates with you guys.
I love that. Thank you for that.
Well,
so listen, bitches, the time is now. Either, level the fuck up, be a rich bitch, or keep being a broke hoe. It doesn't matter to me either way. I'm going to keep on getting richer and fucking smarter and better and hotter and all the good things. And, I'm just here to spread the word.
Spread the word. And, you guys can get involved with like-minded women. I mean, it's like, well, I don't know anyone. Well, guess what? You listen to this podcast.
Join the Ambitious app.
Reach out to Katie, get into the app, get on the app, and get involved with these people, these women that want to level up and be the best that they can be.
Right.
And I'll tell you, I've been watching her for years, and they come from all different walks of life, and they're all different levels. But the goal is to be their best self.
Yeah. Which is being the HBIC of your ambitious life.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Big Bernard. We're going to have you back on a couple more times.
I love
the ladies love you. They love you and your bush.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, goodness gracious. All right, bitches, don't forget to share this episode if you feel like it brought you value. And in the meantime, don't forget to stay ambitious, and I will see you next Tuesday.